Hey Pretty Girl Club. So this video is a little bit different than what I normally do on here. This video is about how to have fun while embracing your cultures because I know that for some of you guys who are on this channel, maybe you recently took the DNA test or maybe you just decided, hey, I'm gonna, embrace every part of my cultures, but you don't know where to begin, especially my multiracial chicas. I know that for us, like if you are triracial, if you have, if on your DNA test you literally have over a dozen countries. I know that's how I am. But I know that that can be very overwhelming because you're like, oh my God, I have to learn, I have to learn all of these different things, all of these different customs and stuff. So I'm going to talk about how to make it fun. And in order to start off, let's talk about what culture actually is. Like being multicultural, multiracial, first of all, it's a beautiful thing. Your phenotype is very beautiful. I call this the Pretty Girl Club because being multiracial, that is beautiful. Just like how anybody else can be beautiful, why can't we be beautiful too? But what is culture? It's really the language that those people speak, it's their work schedules, the way that they dress, their manners, their jokes, their celebrations, their historical backgrounds, like who were the icons of that culture, the foods that they eat, maybe how they raise their children, maybe their religion, or even their medical cures, like their home remedies and stuff. I love looking up the different like beauty tips and how to make these DIY facials from all of my different backgrounds. I told you guys about how my holy grail hair treatments have been from the Hispanic community. If I would have only followed African hairstyles or like African ways of doing my hair, I don't think that my hair would have thrived as much as it did. Because some of the products in the African American community were a little bit heavy for my hair, and I'm not trying to throw shade or anything, but sometimes the natural remedies that come from your cultural background can be a game changer for you because that is actually in your DNA. That is actually in your phenotype. So that hair texture from that culture, some of the people from that culture, they may have more of a hair texture like yours versus your other cultures. So I've noticed that for me, I don't quite have the typical African hair, but I also don't have typical European hair. So I've noticed that that's why the Hispanic or Latin American hair products work best for me because people from that culture and people from those countries, their hair textures are more similar to mine. So that's one of the ways you can make it fun. You can do things that will increase your beauty. You can try new hobbies that are common in that culture. I didn't know that Zumba was created by Latin American people. I didn't know that Zumba started in Colombia. So that is a way that you can get your fitness goals in check. So you're slaying with your body and you are slaying with the dance moves of your own culture. I swear to God, if it were not for Zumba or salsa classes, I would not be able to do those dances. Like, I'm just being honest. And I told you guys in the Patreon about how I went to this gala with my friends because social climbing goals. But we went to this nonprofit gala and there were people there of all backgrounds. But to be honest, the three of us, me and my two friends who were unambiguous, we were the only quote unquote black people there, or like, I think there were about five of us in total. So there was like one African guy on the side or something. So everybody else was like basically white or maybe Asian or something else. But I remember at this gala, they started playing Latin American music, basically like salsa dancing music, and I felt totally comfortable. I went on the dance floor and I was doing my cute little salsa moves, and I felt like a baddie. And my friends were like, oh my gosh, like you're so good at doing the salsa. We need to go out. We need to like do this more often. You need to teach us how to do that. But that was a beautiful moment for me because I was proud enough and confident enough to embrace that part of myself to where I was able to actually have fun with it. I've noticed that for a lot of us multiracial girls, if you have, let's say you have so many different things in your background, you don't know where to begin, you don't know what to prioritize. Sometimes it can feel like anxiety almost, where it's like, oh my gosh, there's so much that is a part of my background. I don't have time to learn all of these languages or learn all of these dances, but that's okay. You can compartmentalize it and break it down into smaller segments. So like with me, when it comes to my blackness, I'm very familiar with African American culture, but as far as the actual countries that were on my DNA thing, like Nigeria, Ghana, all of that, I am not as familiar with those particular countries, but that's okay. What I like to do with that is if they have some sort of Nigerian cultural event in my city, I like to go to the events. That is my favorite way to celebrate my different cultures and my different backgrounds because when I am going to the event, I get to dress up, I get to look cute, so I'm receiving my pretty privilege, I'm getting my exotical tax, and I am embracing a part of my cultural background. So, one of the fun ways that I talked about on the Patreon that I'm planning to embrace my European side is I am going to get probably a picnic blanket or a yoga mat, and I'm just going to go out onto a trail because I found this secret trail in my city where they have all of these different food trucks. So, they have like a coffee shop on a food truck. They have like a smoothie bowl truck. They have all of these different trucks with like different types of foods. And for me, I tend to associate my European or white side with a lot of hiking and like that's a part of me that I have always embraced. That's a part of me that I was raised with. That's a part of my background. And so I view that as me embracing that part of myself. You know how some people are like, black people don't go hiking, black people don't like being outside, black people don't do this. Okay, well, guess what? I'm embracing the non black side, so I have no problem going outside, going hiking, sitting down in my picnic blanket, and enjoying my coffee. So you can make it fun. And a question that I want to ask you is what are the things that you like doing normally? And is there a way that you can incorporate your cultural background into that thing? So, for example, let's say you really like sewing or you really like making blankets. Can you make a blanket that has a tribal design on it? Maybe you have a native background. Can you make a blanket that looks like that? Or maybe you are Creole and you like to drink coffee. Maybe you should try getting a French roast coffee the next time you go to the grocery store. Or maybe you can learn how to make some sort of French dessert. I think of all of the good pastries and stuff that they have as a part of the French culture. Can you learn how to make some of those pastries? Maybe you can make that at home and drink that or eat those with your coffee. Like for me, one fun thing I am actually doing is I will be celebrating Martin Luther King Jr. Day because it is a 3 day weekend. I've actually never celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day before. I know. I would just take the day off and just like chill or whatever. But this year, I'm trying to embrace all of my cultures more because, I mean, that's beautiful, right? Like your blackness is beautiful, your non blackness is beautiful. So I'm going to be going to a festival where they are going to have like soul food vendors and stuff, and they're going to be like probably having some sort of marching band playing. You know how they have like the drum line playing and stuff. So I ordered my chair earrings online, but I want you guys to think like, what is the most attractive part about that culture? So let's say you have an Asian background. What do you think is like the prettiest part about Asian people or the most attractive part about Asian men or whatever? And how can you incorporate those qualities into yourself? Like for me, when it came to Latin American culture, I always thought it was so like cute. I always feel so like sexy and beautiful when I am doing my little salsa and kind of like swinging my hips and stuff. I like the fact that I can move my hips and do dancing other than just twerking. I mean, don't get me wrong, like the twerking, it can be fun too, but I associate that more with African American culture. So, what aspects of that culture that's a part of you, what aspects do you find the most beautiful? Maybe you have an Arab background, maybe you have an Indian background. Do you think that the belly dancing is like really cool and like you would look super cute doing that? And if so, is there a way you can sign up for a belly dancing class? Even if you don't want to sign up for a class, you can just look here on YouTube and you can find videos where it's like belly dancing workout. Maybe the belly dancing workout will work better on your body. I think that there's a reason that people from certain cultures do different workouts. So maybe a belly dancing workout at home will do really good for you or like it'll work really well on you. Also, if you like the whole belly dancing vibe, maybe that's a part of your culture. Summer is coming up in a few months. Maybe you can wear those little cute bejeweled little skirts and you can wear that over your bikini or something. And that's a way you can embrace that culture. Maybe you can wear the jewelry that is often associated with Indian cultures. I know they have these pretty headpieces. I know they have like a dot that they put in the middle of their foreheads sometimes. I've seen some of them wear like henna and stuff like that. So is there a way you can incorporate that into your wardrobe? That's a fun way to celebrate your culture. I also think when I'm thinking of the Arab people, I don't know why, like, the pretty sandals are coming to mind. Like, the sandals that they would wear, kind of those strappy ones. I've seen some ladies wearing, like, kind of gold sparkly sandals before. I've always liked those. That's not even a part of my background. But maybe you can start incorporating that into your fashion. Another way you can make it fun is you can join free groups that celebrate that culture. So, just like how in the African American community, they have the NAACP, they have the Urban League, they have like the Congressional Black Caucus, NCNW, they have all of these different organizations for African Americans. But did you know that they also have different groups and clubs for Asian Americans? Or they have political meetup groups for Latin American people. That's really big in my city. So, those are just a few of the ways that you can make embracing your culture more fun. Those are some unique ways that you can do it, and also meeting your social climbing goals. Another thing that you can do is you can just go on dates if you want to date, or if you're open to that or whatever. You can do it from a decentered perspective. You can go on dates with guys from that culture. Because think about it, when it comes to dating apps and stuff like that, you're not marrying this guy. Like, you're not sleeping with these guys. This is very low stakes. All you're doing is you're literally just having a meal. And so that can also be another way to get to know that culture more, is you can socialize with men from that culture, or you can make female friends from that culture as well. But what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.